Welcome to the third episode of Pen or a Goal podcast. My name is Shane.
My name's Dean, and today we're joined by the one and only
John Connors. How you doing, lads?
It's great to have you on, John. We appreciate it.
Not a bother at all.
John's doing us the favour here. You didn't have to come down here, travel down.
Not at all. Listen, glad to talk to you, lads.
How's things? Good? Yeah?
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, just adjusting.
Keeping busy?
Yeah, keeping busy, yeah. Been doing a bit of writing and stuff, and yeah, a few things coming up this year, and I have a lot of things that I did last year that are coming out this year, different projects and stuff, so that's exciting.
Very good, yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. I went on, and obviously I know a lot about you from Gangsters and the likes of Love, Hate and that, but I have to do a bit of research. I don't want to come across stupid talking, so I've done a bit. I was going on YouTube, typing in John Connors, and the bare knuckle boxing came up.
Right, yeah.
And speaking of the boxing, I do boxing myself now. Speaking of the bare knuckle boxing, I was looking 20 minutes long, and I just wanted to mention how much I love that sort of culture where people have, like they go out and they fight a boxing match and then that be it to shake hands and it's forgotten about.
Yeah.
I think it's a great culture.
Well, that was the Irish way in general. That was, the human way. One-on-one duels have been happening since the beginning of man, Yeah. Oftentimes you would get in Spartan times or Roman times, instead of sacrificing the two armies, one man against one man, rather than, 20,000 men die. Yeah. So, it's really about that. And in Ireland, bare knuckle fighting was very popular. There was a great bare knuckle fighter by the name of Dan Donnelly, who was born in the late 1700s, died young, about 33, of alcoholism, but he was a street fighter, a bare knuckle fighter from Townsend Street, and there was a bare knuckle fighter who was considered the sort of unofficial world champion, an English bare knuckle fighter, might have been his name is gone, it slips me, but anyway, yeah, he was going around and saying he could beat any Irishman, and Dan Donnelly was famous for beating people up in the streets of Dublin, but he would never start a fight. He was that type of fella, but this guy called Captain Barkley, who was like an Anglo-Irish fella but proud of his Irishness, recruited Dan Donnelly to fight this Englishman, and he fought in the Battle of the Curragh, down in the Curragh. And Dan Donnelly became like a world famous bare knuckle fighter, and toured all around England, beating everybody in England until he died of alcoholism. But a big legend and an Irish Republican, So bare knuckle fighting was an Irish thing, like a lot of the things that are so-called traveller in culture or whatever. It's really just Irish culture, and we've held on to it longer. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's really a way of looking at it,
that's the way it should be done.
Well, to me, it's it's funny that we're coming across this subject today, because I'm actually on TikTok now. I never thought I'd say that, but I'm on TikTok. Part of the reason I'm on TikTok is because I deleted all social media. It was off for a long time. But social media, when you're someone like me who had to overcome certain things, and let's say, the media were not always my friend, and I had to kind of make my own work and all that stuff. I was thinking that's actually stupid not being on social media, because it is a weapon in a way. At least you have a voice and you can use it, and you can use it to monetize your art and whatever you're doing. Because the last time I remember I was doing a world tour, my one-man show. First of all, like most of the shows sold out completely in Ireland. Like I did like 86 shows, which theatre shows never sold out. And it was through social media, and that was my Instagram. I deleted it, so I'm back on social media, but this time TikTok. But I actually just posted something about that from me talking about this 10 years ago on the journal.ie, talking about how I would never denounce bare knuckle fighting. That's why journalists always confront me with that, and I go, but what's the alternative? Because there's a couple of different alternatives depending on your background. Sometimes it might be they take out knives, another might be they take out guns, another might be we'll sue each other with and pay solicitors. And for me the best option is a couple of bangs, and I'll point a sing song and leave it at that. And it might not be the most civilized, quote unquote civilized, but for me it's the best way. So
exactly. The old TikTok's great crack as well.
I love making
so fucking addictive. Isn't it?
Scrolling,
and you're like, I'm 2 hours fucking scrolling. What the fuck am I looking at?
I'm always making videos with my daughter.
But it is it's interesting. Like it's obviously wired to make you addicted. You get the dopamine hits. It's similar to drugs and all that stuff. But all social media is. We're all in now on social media. It is what it is. We're talking about like merging with AI or computers. We're already kind of are anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we'd say the online world a few years ago, but now the online world is the world. Really. So I'll jump back on board until the next time at the lead.
It monitors what you watch as well. That's how it kind of sees what you watch the most and tries to bring them up.
Absolutely, the algorithm. Still can't really understand what the algorithm is, but anyway, it's seeing what you're doing and catching you onto something. But look, a lot of people have concerns about TikTok because it has certain guidelines or it's very intrusive in the data it collects or something. But really, why would you really give a shit unless you've really something to hide? You know what I mean?
True.
Or the Americans are big against it because America, China. But I just know Irish traveller from Ireland. So
I just want to watch TikTok.
I'm not watching that dodgy. And you can take me that and sell it if you want. You know what I mean? I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean?
So
going back to the boxing, what age did you kind of start the boxing? Because I know Dean's a big fan of boxing as well, and kind of want to talk about that. Why did you start that now?
Well, I started like a lot of travellers. We would, when you grow up in sites, especially, we'd be doing boxing before we went to boxing clubs. You know what I mean? So like an uncle or something there would be holding mitts and like. It's kind of surreal even looking back now in my childhood compared to treating just kids today, traffic kids, any kind of kid today, the way we grew up, because we grew up in a mile long, maybe mile and a half long road with 5 or 6 sites and all different kind of travellers, and Collinses and Gavins and McDonoughs and Purcells and Joyces, all my own relations. But like we fought every day. We just fought every day. We'd arrange for fights every day as kids from like 6 and 7. You'd fight on the way to school, you'd fight on the way back from school. We'd organise to fight settled kids across the way. We'd fight them fair, as in just with your hands. Then we'd fight them, as we'd said, dirty goes. And this was just every day for like years until I eventually joined boxing. Because I was bullied a lot because I'd never back down for anybody, and I'd always get older fellas trying me. So, and then I would never back down again. So I'd end up taking fucking bad beatings. So I ended up joining boxing really because of that. I think I remember watching Rocky for the 100th time, and it clicked. And I was like, join boxing. You know what I mean? So I joined it at 12. And then within 6 months, I won the Dublins, the Leagues, and the All Irelands, and the Leinsters. And then the next year won the same, and then went to the Four Nations and lost in the final to a Welsh kid, and I lost like 9 kilos in 10 days, 11 days, or something like crazy weight. I remember getting sick when I weighed in. I went to have some like spoonful of beans, and I got sick all over the table in the cafeteria over Liverpool. I was just like, I literally couldn't take that into my body. So the next year, what I did is usually you'd move up when you're a kid, you'd move up a weight every year nearly, until a big sprout happens in your height or whatever. But what I did was I moved up 2 weights the next year to make sure nothing happened. So I won them all again, and I found myself back in the Four Nations. And then I was an Englishman who came over to me, Ryan something, he was his name, and he came over to me the night before the final, and he was like, I'm going to knock you out, you petty cunt. And us Irish, we were real humble. There was no kind of Conor McGregor mentality back there. It was all right, then we'll see what happens, you know what I mean? And so we fought, and I give a shout out actually to Tony Davitt. I think I've said this before, but Tony Davitt is a trainer in Drimna and an Irish trainer for years and years.
That's when you boxed out, was it?
No, I boxed at the Darndale, but Tony Davitt was the Irish coach. And Tony Davitt, after one round, I was beating him 7-1, and you would think he'd say, coast and just get the win, but he said, no, go out and knock him out, because he knew I had power. And I said, fucking go for it then. So I went and hit him in the body shot, broke his ribs. Anyway, I won the fight. Came home to the brothers, showed them the fight, and he said, you should be fighting for Great Britain because I was born in London. So
there's no one to hum you like your brothers, is there?
They'd never let down. So so we were that's like fighting. Then is just part of life. Life itself is a fight, as we know. You get knocked down, you get up again, and all that shit. So I mean, I was literally fighting then for years, and then I stopped. about 18. 18 was the last competitive fight, although I've had bare knuckle fights since the one you're referring to would have been after that, and then I had a few others that were not on camera. One other that was on camera but hasn't surfaced yet. And then had a few charity fights. Actually had a charity fight 2 years ago, for the Irish Wheelchair Association 2 years ago, against a comedian by the name of MC Decent, who kind of takes on traveller characters and whatever. But nice fella. But,
I think we've seen him before.
Yeah,
Actually.
so we fought, and Ricky Hatton was actually the judge.
Really?
So that was great, like great for me, because I was a big Ricky Hatton fan, you know. So I'll still have a few bangs if I need them. You know?
Yeah.
But if I don't, I don't.
I remember your brother saying to me as well, we were talking about a football game one day. He was actually had to fight someone, and he was telling me actually, like he was saying, I have to fight regardless, even if we know the fella's going to batter me. It's one of these things you have to fight. You don't want to shame anyone. You just have to fight, and then that be the end of it. But it was called off before that. Then obviously he settled the talk.
Yeah, I think I remember that one that was called off with Joe. Yeah, well, it's kind of like you'll shame yourself more than anything. My grandfather used to have a saying, and my grandfather Paddy Ward, he's dead now, God help him, but he was a great man, and his saying was, better fighting with your coat off than your coat on, which means say yes to the fight. Don't let someone just hit you in the face. Go for it. You know what I mean? Because you're going to find yourself in that position anyway. So why not fight back? And you never know what happens. You know what I mean? And you can look at yourself in the mirror then. And you can have a bit of pride about yourself. And that's the thing actually with us, with Travelers, like a lot of people would not realise, it's not about winning or losing. Like you're not going to be, like maybe with a couple of families there might be this because there's fucking 100-year rival or whatever, but with most Travellers you're not going to be criticised by your own family if you lose. Not at all. You just have fair play to you for going out. Like genuinely, let's all go for a pint and we'll have an old chat and whatever, and that's it. Like genuinely that is the way it is. Now saying you wouldn't fight is a different thing. And well, sometimes if there's like if there's a massive difference between people, what would happen is if the person, say me and you are fighting and you're a great boxer, you're known to be a great fighter, I'm not, what would happen is I might have a brother that is known to be and he'd match up with you, and you might have a brother or cousin that's not known to be that would match up with me. So usually if everybody knows there's a big difference, something like that will happen, you know?
Yeah, that's good. Did you always know you were in, I know you're in a lot of films now and actually directing a lot of films, did you always like filming from a kid, like growing up?
I always love films,
Watching, like,
what's your favourite one?
My favourite film is Raging Bull.
Raging Bull.
Yeah, Raging Bull, because obviously it's about boxing, you know, my first love, but really every great boxing movie, it's not really about boxing. You know, like The Fighter is not really about boxing, you know. Rocky 1 is not really about boxing, the rest probably are. But Raging Bull is really about a character who cannot help but press the self-destruct button. You know, a character who has to sabotage his life, a character who can't trust his own instincts and is getting destroyed by his own feelings of jealousy and shame and guilt and all that stuff. And I think we can all relate to that on a deep level, you know. And I can relate to that kind of character. He's really self-destructive. That's kind of what I am as well. And then, you know, if you look at it from just a film lens, I love the black and white, I love the cinematography, I love the acting, I love the improvisation, I love the story itself, the way it's told, the direction. So for me, it's the best film ever made and my favourite film. But it's not a film you're going to watch every week, you know, whereas you'd probably watch fucking Step Brothers more. You know what I mean? But it is one when you watch it, like, wow, you walk away going, and it makes you think, and kind of every time you see a film like that, there's more to take out of it, you know? And little things you would see in a scene, little nuances, you go, oh, wow, maybe that was going on there. And so I love a film like that. You can keep going back then. I've watched that film, God knows how many times, and every time I see it, it's a different experience. And actually watched it in the IFI and in BFI in London as well, in the cinema, and it's for such a dark film you don't realise how funny it is. It's actually a really fucking funny film in a very dark way, you know. So yeah, that'd be it. But you know what? Actually, the films that definitely influenced me more than anything, like in life, are the Rocky films. Yeah, because like
they got me a
great story behind it.
Yeah, like the Rocky, the character, has been more inspirational to me than fucking Mike Tyson or Ali, who were fucking my heroes. But I mean, it would legitimately, And that's the most people who grew up in those generations, because the power of cinema, like, and then if you look at Rocky 1, you know, and what it was about in the premise, it was about someone who felt like they never fulfilled their potential. They never got that shot. But now they've one last chance to prove they're better than what everybody else thinks they are. You know, that speech that he does in the, you know, I don't want to be just another bum from the neighbourhood. You know, if I go the distance, I know for the first time, not just another bum from the neighbourhood, you know. And then you go into Rocky 2 and you get another chance, and then it becomes more explosive and action-wise, you know, but they're brilliant fucking entertaining films, you know. And, you know, I think actually Rocky Balboa, you know, number 6, when I went with number 6, I think that was like number 2. Number 6 went back to that story, you know, and you know that speech.
Can't do it.
Yeah, and that speech that he did with his kid, you know, about being a victim, and you know, and you know, you let people to put a finger in your eye and tell you you're no good, you know, and you start looking for someone to play like a big shadow, you know, that stuff, like that brilliant sort of philosophy that runs throughout, and people don't realise, you know, Sylvester Stallone wrote all those films and directed a few of them as well, like, you know, he's a brilliant doc right now on Netflix. Have you seen it, called Sly?
No,
fucking brilliant.
I have seen it on it, yeah.
Watch it. Did you watch the Arnie one? The Arnie one that's on it.
Yeah, I've seen the Arnie one. Yeah, very good. Very good.
We stuck into. Now, why do we stuck into movies on
Netflix and chill, innit?
It's worse than just choosing one though.
Yeah, I do spend hours. Yeah,
that's why I just went back now recently and I watched Better Call Saul, which I didn't see.
I haven't seen it, no, either.
And I just said, because it was just something to watch without fucking searching and spending an hour every night. If you think about the hour that you're wasting every fucking night,
it's a film,
so you're wasting 7, 8, 10 hours a week.
You know? Keep a film.
And then I went back and then I just watched I'm back into Breaking Bad now. Nearly finished Breaking Bad again for the second time, which is a great show.
Game of Thrones, I love. I started that again.
I watched that up until season 4, and then it was like, you know, usually when I watch a show, it's already finished and I watch the whole thing. But then I was like waiting for the next episode. I was like, I'm not waiting for the next fucking episode. So now it's finished. I have to go back now and watch it again. But that was a great show.
Very good. I didn't think I'd like it because it's about dragons and mythical stuff. But I assume when you watch it, it's different. Like.
Yeah, but I see a show like that. It's funny because a show like that is all those sort of stories that are within that show and about kind of greed and envy and revenge. You know, it's all stuff of biblical text, really, and that's actually embedded in us. It's in our unconscious. We don't even realise it. You know, the Jungian thing called the archetypes. You know, all about that stuff. So really, they're deep-seated stuff in us. That's why people are resonating with Game of Thrones. You know, it's very biblical, like the Harry Potter stuff. That's basically the Bible and all the stories. You know what I mean? So this stuff has been in us for a long, long time. That's why people, but you know, they put in a few sexy dragons, and, you know, and they keep you watching what it do.
That's what I'm watching that Lucifer at the minute. Have you seen
what Lucifer is? It good?
He's basically he's the devil. Or he's partners up with a detective. Where it's both. He's always taking the piss off. Serious crimes happen. He's taking the piss off. But his sense of humour is like a person's. Like how they react to stuff. So it's a good watch, to be honest.
Interesting. Interesting.
Peaky Blinders, another one.
I watched it up till, again, same thing happened. I watched it up till season 2, and then it was out of shows. Then I was waiting for season 3. I haven't watched it since, so I'm going to go back and watch it. A few friends of mine were in it, and
really,
and a friend of mine directed, I think, season 3 and 4. Apparently, that's the guy who directed Love Hate, directed season 3 and 4, Dave Caffrey. So I'll have to go back, and apparently they're the best seasons. So I know Adrian Brody came into it, and Tom Hardy. I didn't see that. I didn't see any of that stuff.
Tom Hardy.
You have a lot to catch up on.
We're not going to spoil it, but Tom Hardy's great.
Very good.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. And then the Adrian Brody character came in was kind of like the Godfather, wasn't he? He was like Marlon Brando, but I've seen a clip of him, so I'll have to go back and treat myself to that.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So just going into yourself, into your first acting movie that you were in, or series, whatever. What was your actually first series or movie that you were in?
Well, I auditioned for a film called King of the Travellers, and I heard that they were looking for real travellers, so I thought I'd have an advantage there. This afternoon, about a year of acting classes, and I got a part. And it was a big long rehearsal period, like even longer than what you would do for theatre, because most of the people who were playing travellers were real travellers, non-actors. So we were rehearsing for months. But meanwhile, while that happened, I was up in my boxing club, Darndale Boxing Club. This was 2011 maybe, and a casting director come up looking for tough looking fellas for the show Love Hate and blah blah blah. And I went, oh yeah, I think I saw a season or two or that or whatever. And she said, look, do you want to come and you could be like an extra? And I said, I'm not really interested in being an extra. She said, look, you never know what could happen. And I went, well, okay, that's a good point. So I went up and I landed on set, and they basically needed a fella to play a pipe bomber, right? And he had a few lines and whatever, and I got talking to this director, Dave Caffrey, who lived in London for 30 odd years, and would have drank in this pub on the Caledonian Road where I was born. I was born in King's Cross, but the Caledonian Road is where we lived. And he would have drank in this pub for a long time, and he would have drank with a lot of travellers. And my father would have drank there, so more likely they probably drank together. And there was this little, connection with me and him. And he says, look, there's a few lines here for this pipe bomb dealer guy. Do you want to play him? And I went, yeah, 100%, grab them lines. And then I said basically some of the dialogue. I was like, nah, he wouldn't say this, he wouldn't say that. And, and your man was like, okay, well, you're a travel for Darnell. I'm guessing you'd know what this kind of fellow would say. So I switched up a little bit and did the dialogue, and then that was it. And then I went and did I was in a scene with Nidge or Tom Lawler for that, and then I went and did King of the Travellers, and then right after King of the Travellers I did a film called Stalker, and both of them premiered the next year in the 2013 Galway Film Fleadh, one on Friday, one on Saturday. And on the Saturday, I think it was King of the Travellers, Stuart Carlin, the Love Hate writer, came up to me, and I was kind of in a daze because it was like 2 film premieres and 2 nights in a row, and I'm the lead in both, and co-writer in one of them. I was just like, what the fuck is happening with my life right now? And it was just in a dream, really. And he come up and he was like, hey, I'm Stuart Garland and blah blah blah, and oh, Stuart the writer, Love Hate, great, yeah. And I actually forgot I was in it at the time because it was so I was daisy, and I was like, oh. He said, look, would you like to come back? And I said, to Love Hate? And he was like, yeah, sure, deadly, that'd be great. And he was like, let's figure out a way to bring you back. Now it seems very obvious that the pipe bomb that I gave Nidge, and he blew up Fran's ex-missus house and all that storyline. It seems so obvious that's the way you would bring me back and put me and Nidge against each other. But when it's not written, it's not so obvious. Yeah. So he was figuring out how to do it, and I've never heard nothing from him. Like that was in July until November, and then in November I got an email from him with a script, and it was like, this is the story and blah blah blah, and I was like, fucking deadly, great. So we did that, had an absolute ball. That was season 4. I think it was in episodes 4, 5 and 6, and my character left on the run. Nidge and the Barry Keoghan character tried to kill me, and I go on the run, and then we met up then for season 5, and he was like, do you want to come back? I was like, yeah. And he said, do you want to come back in a small way or a big way? I said, big fucking way. So he spent a lot of time with me, and we became very good friends, and are very good friends to this day. Stuart Carlin, I would consider him very close to me and a very loyal fella. Just a real staunch cunt. But he spent a lot of time with me and kind of wanted to nail all the traveller nuances in language and the way we speak and all that stuff. And so we spent many weeks together. And then season 5 happened then, and that was kind of that brought me kind of another level,
Was it mad, like, of how quick it happened? Like your whole life just flipped upside down, and like.
Yeah, well, it's mad, man, because like what got me into acting was my brother Joe, actually, because I was suicidal in my room in Darndale, and I literally was going to go, I'm going to kill myself, and my brother Joe knocked on the door the moment I thought that in my brain, which is like mad serendipity.
Jesus.
And then he comes in and he goes, are you going to kill yourself? And I said no, but I gave him indication that I was going to do it. And he said, look, we can't afford to bury you, right? So he's breaking the ice, but he was serious. He was serious as well, like. And he said, look, why don't you try acting? And he didn't just pull that out of his arse. It was because I always loved film,
Yeah.
So these mad moments in life where you can either go left or right, it's really mad to think if you say no and why. Like if I just went no in that moment, I don't know where I was now, where I'd be now. One decision can take you down a completely different path. And what I learned from that, but as actually was saying yes to things, and thinking the positive can change everything. It really can.
Yeah.
And that's, because you get a lot of people up on fucking YouTube and it's, it tells you 5 positive things to do in life and you change your life. No. A lot of bollocks, but I can tell you from my own life experience, when you're in a negative place and there's things that are coming towards you, you have to see them for what they are. It's serendipity, which is a better, a lack of a better word for really spirituality, something, the world, whatever it is, energy that is coming at you, it's giving you an option to do something different. So you have to see it for what it is, and it's a life jacket sometimes, take the fucking life jacket and live and see where else you go down along the stream. And that's what happened to me. To go from where I was in my head mentally, and the stuff that I was involved in when I was younger, and the bullying and the boxing, and then fucking got involved in crime and bare knuckle fighting and dirty going on feuds and danger. Like I was holding fucking shotguns at 13 years of age, for family members while I was involved in a feud that I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was a kid. So to go there into where I went to, and where I still am now and where I'm going now is kind of all surreal all the time. I always have to pinch myself going, what? Or when something, even when I just see a film that I'm in, I made that film. That was me. What? I'm an actor. Like, it's still surreal to me. And I'm 13 years into it now, and I think like I've probably 70 fucking credits on IMDb, which is probably more than any actor my age in Ireland. It's not a brag, it's just a fact. And I go, what the fuck? Like, I literally go, what the fuck? Because you're always faking it till you make it, and you always feel like an imposter. You always feel like it. Like, there's no...
we get that all the time, you still feel like an imposter regardless.
But I think you have to accept what that is. You know what I mean? Because other people go, do you want to really focus on that, like, negatively? I'm an imposter. If they ever knew that I'm really only the... No, we all feel like that until you get them there. Like, when you arrive at a certain level, you only got there. So that's how you feel. You feel like, I only got here. So let's just fake it here for a minute, and then when I get to the next level, I only got there. But hey, guess what? Before that, I know what you're on about. I've been there. You know what I mean? And you kind of have to accept that. Because I was like that for a while going off, and then I was just like, fuck this. Like, life is too fucking short. Like, it's going to be over in a blink of an eye. And the main thing for me has been getting out of the way of my own self. My own self fucking pressing that self-destruct button, fucking, stopping myself from succeeding. And sometimes you're not even aware of it, and then you realise it, and you realise, I actually was getting in the way there because I was afraid that I wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? And fuck it, like, it's better to fail altogether, because you learn something from failing anyway. And instead of sabotaging yourself and being a coward about it, which I've done many times, I'll probably do it again. I hope not. You know what I mean? But you're trying to fucking learn this, because it's not always like a fucking film life. Like, what was that moment that changed everything for you? And sometimes there's a series of moments, and sometimes you think that moment was the time it changed. You know what I mean? Or you see this with people in addiction, and you might be there and you might be in your bed swearing, I swear to God, if you just save me this time, and please stop me from this stupid behaviour, and I'm sorry for doing a 3-day bender with no sleep, and blah 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 blah. And this is I'm going to become a priest now, but I'm telling you now, this is the and the next weekend, I know I said it last weekend, but this is the you know what I mean? Because life is not like a movie where it's one, you keep making mistakes, and you keep making mistakes, and you keep finding, and it's the Socrates quote, you might have to fail 1,000 times and to succeed once. You know what I mean? But that's just the way life is, man.
Even us, we were struggling with anxiety on doing this podcast ago. And basically ended up saying, fuck it. So we were caring too much what people thought. Thinking, what are these going to say, what are these going to say, and just end up saying.
And listen, we all do that. Isn't it funny though? We're worried about what we think other people are thinking about you, which they're not necessly even thinking about you at all. Because when you think about it from it's actually coming from an egocentric place to think that everybody's thinking about you. Because I've been there going, what will people think? People are fucking too busy with their own fucking lives. What the fuck are you talking about? And anyway, what is it? If you break it down, someone has some neural activity in their brain right now that's called the thought about you, and you're worried about that. Oh, how threatening. You know what I mean? And not only worried about that, you're letting that thing process, whatever that is, getting in the way of what you want to do. If you think about it, it actually sounds fucking crazy.
It sounds crazy.
Doesn't it? But that's sometimes you have to give it the logical lens like that, because you have to do that, you know what I mean? Like, and sometimes you have to go, fucking let's again the fake it till you make it. Like, do you know how many times I've done that? Do you know how many times I went, well, I'm a fucking fraud, but I'm just going to act like I'm not. And I got away with it with flying colours, Like, I've done speeches in front of 10,000 people, and fucking done all these gigs, like corporate gigs as well, talking about diversity and inclusion and fucking doing 100 shows around the world with me one-man show. Me acting, do you know, every time I felt like I'm a fucking fraud. If they ever found out, I'd be fucking starving with the hunger. You know what I mean? But then you do it and you go, Jesus, I actually wasn't a fraud. No, you know? You know, you sometimes just don't know if you have it in you. You know what I mean? So you have to fucking jump out on the ledge, you know?
So going into films that you directed, was Cardboard Gangsters one of the first ones? Or?
I didn't direct that, I wrote that. So Cardboard Gangsters, that was like the first one. I co-wrote Stalker, a film with me and Barry Keoghan. And I co-wrote that with Mark O'Connor, and then I wrote Cardboard Gangsters, and that was a hard one to make. Like we got turned down by the Irish Film Board, who were now Screen Ireland, 3 times in a row, but every time they told us that we were getting the funding, every time. So you're waiting while you already have other funding, and you're waiting for the rest of it to come for them to match up. Now the problem is the other funding that we had from the Broadcasting Authority Ireland had to be matched by other funding, or else we lose that. Right. And we've 12 months to get enough to match it. Right, so by the third go, they fucked us that much. By the third go, we had 6 weeks left with no option, no way to get money. 6 weeks, and if we don't withdraw the money in 6 weeks, and I never told anybody about this. Actually, no one. I've never said this in any interview. But the film was gone. We had to give this back. We had to give the money back to the Broadcasting Authority Ireland if we didn't get the rest of the money to match it, and we would have never made the film. So we got a producer named Richie Bulger. Because our producers bailed on us because he said, this is impossible. This can't be done. Like, they bailed on us. And it was a third set of producers that left me and Mark O'Connor, the director. And they bailed on us. And we got a producer, young producer at the time, Richie Bulger. I think Richie might have been 24 at the time. 25, the same age as me at the time, 2015. And he said, I'll produce it. We'll get it over the line. That's how the fuck are you going to do that, like? And just turned out that he fucking knew people, and he was a very smart fella himself, and found a way. And we managed to get money to match the rest of the funding, and then withdraw the whole thing and make it on a fucking really small budget. Like, really, people would be shocked at 390 grand we made that film in. And we shot it in 15 days.
Very good film as well.
Yeah, we shot it in 15 days. And this is a film that ended up winning awards all across the world in film festivals. Was the biggest box office hit in Ireland in the cinema that year. Fucking smashed a load of records actually in Irish cinema for a tiny low budget film, you know. And then the irony is that it made more money than all of Screen Ireland films that year combined that were released. And they turned us down. It made more money than all of them combined.
Why did they turn it down? What would be the reason that they...
Every time they gave a different reason, and then they couldn't. One of the main ones was they said my character of Jay was like just too unlikable, you know. Because they're always looking at PC films up and anyway. Too unlikable. And I said, listen, but all the great characters are like that on the page. I said, but you know, you look at the kind of De Niro characters of the 70s, and the Travis Bickles and the Johnny Boys and whatnot. I said, this is a throwback to that kind of era. I said, this is an anti-hero. I said, I know he's going to be sympathetic because I know how I'm going to play him. I know people are going to go on a journey with him. I know people are going to understand him. And it's all going to be rooted in his own humanity. When he kills that character, you'll see his guilt and shame, and it's all going to work out. And I was right and they were wrong, you know. But they wanted just a more black and white character, you know what I mean? Just simple, you know, straightforward, not complex.
Basically, not to have emotion or nothing.
That's what I thought. That's the character I thought he wanted, and I flat out refused to rewrite it like that. And we got fucking turned down. So, but I'm glad in the end because we had more freedom with the film, and then we had great revenge with it, and you know, we went back and I won the IFTA for it, and I did a speech where I kind of targeted them in the speech, you know.
Speech as well.
Yeah, so it was a nice, but it got like 10 million hits. It basically got more hits than every IFTA speech ever combined.
I remember seeing it.
Honest, it wasn't. See, you know, it was most people that get into films they get real robot. They try to please everyone. It wasn't to please, and it was basically come from their own emotions.
Try to please people, and they try to go, how do I not get in trouble? You know what I mean? And that's why people don't watch award ceremonies, because they're very rarely interesting. Just a lot of people are going up, taking a box, and I'll thank this person, and thank you, and it was all great and jovial to work with everybody and blah blah blah. You know, so did that, and then we we had a good time with that, and then it went out to Netflix, which was great, because it gets so many people get to fucking see it then, you know. Netflix.
It opens the door even more, doesn't it?
Yeah, massive.
Netflix.
And we get on Netflix internationally as well, like in Australia, Canada, America, loads of other European countries as well, so it was good.
Unbelievable film as well.
Yeah.
You know what, I think it's because it's made out, it's loads of, there's people from the actual areas in the films.
Yeah.
Like, I know one of the lads from Ballymun, isn't he?
Yeah, Linko.
Linko, like, because they know how to play the parts.
Absolutely, real. Linko is from Ballymun, and it was for me and him at the time. I think Linko might have been 20 at the time. I was 25. Like, four of us all just lived together, me and the other actors in my house, and it was like it became about just becoming characters, and I don't mean that in a wanky way, like we think we are the characters. It was just more that we're all together, and we were all just behaving like the characters. So then when
it's
the
natural.
camera, so it's natural. When the camera come on, it was all natural then, you know. So I had the time of my life doing that film. Like, I mean, it was intense. 15 days to do it in 15 days, but we'd some good times and big parties, and we were partying every night like in my house, so that was an excuse.
Some good sessions.
I had a good excuse there, you know. I'm being the character. I'm
on fraction.
But it all resonated. All the mad shit we were doing, it all kind of resonated on camera, you know.
This weekend, right, Joshua and Ngannou. Who have you got?
I think Joshua was going to beat him convincingly, and this is why. Ngannou is a freak of nature. He's a beast. I love his story. He's fucking great. I don't think he beat Tyson Fury last time. I think what happened was the shock of him doing so well. It almost put the audience under a spell because they couldn't believe he was doing so well. Because to me, I watched the back, I think he only won 3 rounds, and one of them was a 10-8, of course, which is like essentially 4 rounds. So I get it. So it's still a close enough fight. But he didn't, so many of the rounds, he didn't do enough to win the rounds at all. It was just Tyson Fury looked cautious of him, but Tyson Fury out-jabbed him. So I thought Tyson Fury beat him. But he did unbelievably well to just compete, never mind knock him down, and to have it that close, and to have it look like it's a controversial. I mean, that's unbelievable, and this man's story is unbelievable. But Tyson Fury did take it too lightly, and if you look at the shape of him, he became in a career heaviest nearly. I think he was career heaviest.
Saying earlier to one of the lads, he looked heavy compared to the one before that.
He looked very heavy, and the thing was, I know what was happening there, because he was 6 weeks later, he was meant to fight Usyk, which can't later cancel. He was looking at like this is a sparring session with 6 more weeks for me to train. You know what I mean? Like while I'm eating ice cream now and all, I don't care. And he got what he deserved. You know what I mean? Which was a reality check. And it's an embarrassment on his record, no matter what, because so many people do think he lost. And again, I thought he won, but barely. Won by a couple of rounds for me. Now Joshua has the advantage of knowing what Ngannou's like. But then the question is, does Ngannou get even better because he's only doing boxing a certain amount of time? Is he getting even better and better again? So that's the question. But he has the advantage of knowing what he's like, knowing that he can switch it, knowing that he's a better boxer than you would think. I mean, on a technical, an IQ level, you know what I mean? And then, like, I think the best Joshua we ever saw was that Otto Wallen fight in the last fight. I think he finally got the balance right because he was an animal, a beast in his early days, and then he got shook up a few times from the Ruiz fight onwards and got cautious, and then thought he was Vladimir Klitschko then, you know, and could never really, he's not really a Vladimir Klitschko, but he's had to get the balance between a box puncher, which suits his body type, that fast twitch, a box puncher, and he's technically better than he's ever been while always having that knockout power. So the Otto Wallen kind of fight, he showed his best for me. I think he could take him out in 6-7 rounds. I think he'd take Ngannou out. But then again, the question still lies, how good is Ngannou? How much of a fluke was that? How much was that Tyson Fury being completely off? How much can he improve in a short space of time? Can he improve a lot because he hasn't boxed for so long? He might be able to, you know. And does he have this unbelievable chin, which he seems to? Because Tyson Fury landed a couple of absolute haymakers, and he didn't bat an eyelid. Do you know what I mean? So it does make it fucking interesting. But and a part of me goes, I want Ngannou, but I've learned now in the last few years to never go with my heart, because your heart will always make you lose in boxing. It will always make you lose. Go with the logical side. Go with the brain. And my brain's telling me Joshua's going to knock him out in 7 or 8 rounds. And again, he still has to adjust to that fucking them 3-minute rounds. You can see he was gassing out the last time as well. So, but then again, like if he gets hit by Ngannou,
Power.
You know, and there's another fight in the undercard, Joseph Parker against fucking Zhilei Zhang. But that is a ballsy fight to take. I mean, Zhang fucking dismantled Joyce twice, who dismantled Parker. Now we know Parker's looking at his best now, and you know, while there was a bit shot last time, but it still looks so good, Parker. But I mean, the size of Zhilei Zhang. Like he's fucking 6'7" and 20 stone. Parker's going to weigh in probably 17 and a bit, and he's 6'3". I mean, and Zhang is a southpaw. That is a tough fight. If he beats Zhang, and Zhang, like how good Zhang is looking, because Zhang is one of the most avoided fighters in the division. If Parker beats him, Parker is
he's back up there for a shot.
And Parker's only 31. You know, people, we forget about him. Like he was world champion at 24 or 5. You know, so
he's going to be around for a long time, isn't he? Like,
yeah, he's going to be around for a long time. Yeah, because like, you know, Fury might not be in, Joshua might not be in. You know, it's a really interesting heavyweight division.
Do you think them two boys will have a fight?
I don't think so. No, because as well, like, you know, Andy Lee trains Parker. Andy Lee is Tyson Fury's cousin. They're all like a family together. And why fight anyway? Because what's going to happen is eventually the belts are going to be broken up. Whether it's after this fight or the next, they're going to be breaking up because there's more money. You know, because why would you stand by? Why would you stand by as a sanctioning body when you can break the belts and just get new people in all the time and keep it rotating and build back towards a big undisputed fight? So they're going to be broken up, whether it's this fight or the rematch of this fight, if there is one, or if not, Joshua Fury. Eventually this year, all the belts will be broken back up, and then you have 4 belts and then potentially 4 champions. So then, you know, Tyson, how many fights is Tyson left anyway? You know,
probably 2
or 3 maybe max. You know, fucking Usyk, Joshua, and maybe Ngannou again, as he said.
He said that, didn't he?
He said that, but if Ngannou loses badly to Joshua, there's no point fighting him again. There's no money in it. There's no nothing. It's all about money, you know.
That's the thing as well, saying.
And Dillian White's back in the mix now, Gerda. I don't know if he's getting cleared by the British board, but he's been cleared by Texas as in his licence.
He takes some shots of that.
Mad cunt,
I really liked him. I was really fond of him for a long time. Now the drug thing, let's see where that goes, because I don't like drug cheats. My policy in the drug cheats is very simple: ban them for life. If they truly done it, like if they're using performance and that's ban them for life, because it's attempted murder.
Him and Chisora, remember behind the cage and all that.
Chisora, what a warrior Chisora as well. You know.
Watch me out about Eddie Ahern about giving him the watch.
Did you call him Eddie Ahern?
No, Eddie Ahern.
Eddie Ahern.
Yeah, I seen you about the watch. He goes, because he wanted him to promote the fight. And he's like, well, give me a bonus. He said, I'll give you a bonus to promote the fight. And he's like, no, it's grand to promote. Anyway, so he stood there on the stage doing nothing, and Eddie turned, looked at him and said, what are you doing? You're not promoting the fight. And he turned and goes, you didn't even give me a bonus to promote it. He said, I offered you a bonus. He said, well, give me a watch and I'll promote it.
That was Chisora, was it?
Yeah, it was Rolex.
Chisora, though, God help me, he's a bit on the slide mentally, though. He's taking too many shots.
You can tell.
No one should allow him to fight again, like, you know.
And he's back there promoting the fight. Gives you a watch.
He's a mad cunt. He's a mad cunt.
Going forward, any upcoming projects you have coming out soon?
Yeah, so like a lot coming out. I'm in a show called The Gentleman, a Guy Ritchie show. That's out this month. It's out, I think, in a few days, 2 or 3 days. Play a smaller role in that. You know, Guy Ritchie did Snatch and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Snatch, classic.
So that's out in a few days. I'm in another film right now called Sunrise. I was in that with Guy Pearce, was in that. A few other good actors. And then I have a few other films coming out this year. One is called Leopard Skin Jasper. Working title though, it's set in a mental hospital, and me and this girl fall in love. She's schizophrenic, I'm bipolar. It's kind of a dark dramedy that's coming out. And then I have The Black Wealth, which I directed. Again, a film that was turned down by the film board. It's turned down by Screen Ireland, Arts Council, everybody, and we got it funded and we made it, and fucking it won Oldenburg Film Festival, won top 5 independent film festivals in the world, and our lead actor Graham Early won Best Actor at it too, and it's done amazing. We've got an American cinema release this spring. It's going to be out in America, so, and then it'll be in Ireland as well, cinema release in Ireland, and all around the world really. It's getting dubbed right now for different languages, for all different foreign territories, so that has done really well. So the icing on the cake for that will be for me will be coming back to Ireland and the Irish cinema release of that and Irish audience, because it's a film that's very important to me, and it's about the stuff we don't talk about, and the kind of intergenerational effect of clerical abuse, you know, and because I still think that's such a big factor as to why, you know, we have addiction and why we have crime, and all different sorts of statistics, you know, come from that trauma. You know, 220,000 boys alone went to the industrial system, went through it. You know, 220,000 in a small country like ours throughout the generations. And you see the ripple effect of that and the behaviour they have learned and how they pass it on to their children. It's really hard to quantify the negative result of that. It's so powerful. You know, so the film is about that, but that sounds like, you know, it sounds like a really dark film that's really draggy. It's not actually, because it's actually told through the lens of a gangster. But you know, but it isn't a typical gangster film. You know, you wonder what's going on with this fella, and you soon find out, you get educated. But there's a lot of colour from that world. You know what I mean? It's the world I know myself, the world I grew up in myself. So it's very exciting and fast paced and hard hitting, but really dark as well. You know, but a lot of comedy too. So yeah. So yeah, hopefully, but it'll be out. That'll be out in Ireland probably May or June, I'd say, in cinemas. So that's gonna be good fun when it comes out.
So it's gonna be in the cinemas.
Yeah. Listen, it's the best way to watch films. That's the cinema, you know.
100%, yeah.
You know?
It's different to watching it.
Discuss when the film goes out on Netflix.
I know, yeah.
I would have went.
And this film, like, there's some certain set piece on this that need to be seen in the cinema, like
surround sound and all that stuff. Yeah,
exactly. We've a chase sequence that we met up last minute. Like, I just started knocking on doors. I was in Sheriff Street, and it wasn't really in the script much, and we just started making this chase sequence and going through houses and jumping over walls with the camera and doing all mad stuff and getting lads at the corner who were actually dealing and getting them into it, taking a scrambler off on them, getting their car to jump on and getting car chase while the real guards are in the cul-de-sac trying to stop us. So like,
mid-film,
yeah. So, and we used them all. So, and then there's some surprise big surprises in it. There's big kind of reveal stuff in it, you know. That'll make you think. But so yeah, I can't wait till that goes to the cinema. That'll be the big buzz for me, you know.
The best actors you act with.
The best.
Top three if you could. Or the
well, I acted with Barry. Barry's certainly a very good actor. And Tom Von Lawler, certainly a very, very good actor who plays Nidge. Jimmy Smallhorn, a very good actor. That was, if you don't know him, he killed me in Carpet Gangsters, and he was Git in Love Hate. He's very good, you know. I've acted with so many great actors. I recently acted with an actress called Vicky Creeps, and that's a film I'm doing actually in a new Jim Sheridan film that'll be out this year. She's a Luxembourg actress. She was in a film called Phantom Thread with Daniel Day-Lewis. She was fucking amazing. And Jade Jordan, an actress that I'm in with the mental hospital film. So like the list is endless. The list is endless. There's a lot of great actors out there. Lawler Roddy, a fella from the north, but like this fella's like a magician. So you know, a lot of the best actors I work with are actors that were not really famous. You know, that's you know, and we've so much talent in Ireland as acting. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. The actors I know that are not famous, that how good they are. It's mad, because I think it's in the Irish. You know, it's in us. The storytelling. You know what I mean? There's a lot of talent out there. You know.
Advice for someone who'd want to start an acting.
Don't. Nah, I'm only messing. No, definitely do it if you want to do it.
What's the starting point? Like get into a college or?
Well, if you want to go to a college, I didn't go to college. I just done a few acting classes and kind of dipped my feet into it.
Right.
And you know, the advantage of doing saying, and this is because sometimes I talk about this and it actually sounds like I'm beating up the college system. It's just a lot of money, and it's like, you know, you could be 4 years there as opposed to doing, say, a 3-month course here with this group of people, and then another one with a different group of people, you know, and then another one with a different group of people.
You get a mixture of a bit,
and you're mixing, because acting is all about who are you with in the scene in front of you. And you could get someone like, I remember at first class, I'm in this fucking Brazilian man, and then there was this French girl, and then upper class this, and working class that, and then the next one has this person, that person, and they're all people who have different life experiences, and you're kind of sharing all this with each other. And that's what acting's really about, is actually what you're bringing to the table in your life life experience and there, and it's so rich to meet people from different backgrounds, cultures, and whatever. And that actually, I think, makes you a way better actor. You know what I mean? So I found that route was more practical for me, and I'm glad I did it, because you're not like, say, signing up to like a 4-year college where you're stuck with the same group of people. That'll eventually get weeded down into about only 8 people by the end of the class, and probably 30 will start off and it'll be about 8 by the end. But it'll be the same people and you get into your comfort zone. Whereas if you do little courses, it's starting again. It's like when you join a football team, you're kind of nervous and who are these, and you know what I mean. But then after a week or two, grand, you know what I mean. But it's like do that all the time. Put yourself outside your comfort zone. I think that's the fucking only way, you know. Because what's way more important in acting is life experience, like having, unfortunately, trauma is important for any artist. Unfortunately, you're not going to get any kind of artist that is good without deep trauma, without having felt some sort of pain, without someone dying, having some sort of loss or whatever that is. You need that to be an actor, to be any kind of artist. I think in anything in life, actually, even if you're going to be an athlete or whatever, that kind of inspiration, you need to have that. So. And then also beautiful experiences as well. You know what I mean? Like a great experience in life. So the more colours of experiences you can have between fucking the light and the darkness and everything in between, all the different colours, all that is going to help you as an actor in your life. You know what I mean? Overcoming things and enjoying things as well, and being able to fucking really laugh, being able to fucking really cry. You know what I mean? Having went through all the experiences. So if you do that, and then you do some courses to just practically learn how to just act and get comfortable, then just go for it. And I joked about don't act at the start. What I mean by that is don't unless you really want to, because it's not easy. It's one of the hardest, if not the hardest art form to get into the breakthrough, to make a living. Actually, acting is the number one lowest paid gig in Ireland, in Irish society. So the most unemployed people are actors, believe it or not, and they're mostly over in the south side. You'd hardly see them in the north side and so whatever. But genuinely, they're the lowest paid, as in not by wage, as in if you just aggregate it all together and what money's handed out to everybody, it's fuck all money in it for an actor, because the same sort of heads are getting the same sort of, So the majority are unemployed is my point. So it's the hardest to break through out of all the arts, like. So if you want it, you want to really go for it, and you want to really work hard, and it really goes back to that fucking wanky saying, but it's so true, that work ethic is its own talent. Because in acting, there's so many talented people. You get out what you put in. So you need to be talented, and you need to work really hard. And then you need luck. And then hope for the fucking best. And then when you get an opportunity, fucking take it and run. Run with it. Fake it till you make it, John. Fake it all the way till you make it. Thanks very much, John. It's been a pleasure having you on. Honestly, thanks for having me. See you all next week. See you next week.